Hello and welcome to Unmastered. I'm Emma.
And I'm Gohar.
And we are uncut and on the record with your favorite bands.
Cool. Today we are sitting down with some of my favorite people and my good friends. Aurora Vice.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm sorry, I didn't really hear you. What did you say?
Hi!
Hi! Oh
me.
my god.
Oh,
This is us, Aurora Vice.
Okay, so, what are your names? What do you play? And what's your favorite ice cream? And what toothpaste do you use?
What?
You want to go off? You want to start that one?
I need you
Okay.
to answer in that order. So.
I'm gonna probably have to get you to refresh my memory, but
Sure.
my name is Arpina. I sing and rap, and occasionally play any instrument that Henry forces me to. What was the next question? Ice cream?
Mm-hmm.
I actually, right now, I'm really in love with McConnell's Lavender and, what was it? Cookie?
Cookie dough?
It's not cookie dough. It's like this Scottish biscuit cookie that's in
Biscotti.
it. No.
Okay.
Anyways, it's really good. Go to McConnell's, get it. Wait, did I say it wrong? I said lavender. It's Earl Grey.
Yeah, Earl Grey.
Earl Grey
I
and
like
some
the Earl-
cookie.
I
It's
like
so
Earl
good.
Grey.
It's so good.
McConnell's is in Hollywood, right next
There's
to...
one on Ventura too.
Oh, my
Hold
bad.
your horses.
Yeah, for all the people in the valley.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And then what toothpaste do I use? Tom's.
Tom's? What is Tom's toothpaste?
It's like organic.
Oh,
And
nice.
like
Okay.
sometimes fluoride free.
Does that mean, like, when you brush your teeth, it still, like, has a bad smell in your mouth? Because you know how, like, some
No.
deodorants, like, you use and you still stink? So it's like...
No!
No?
Why would
I think
do
you need to get a new
that?
deodorant, Henry.
No, I don't use organic deodorant, but I know people who've used
I have
organic-
used organic deodorant and it doesn't do that.
Okay.
You have to-
Also,
you have to
there's
get the right
deodorant
ones.
and an antiperspirant. So
There's combo ones, too.
Well, the one that I used was not antiperspirant either.
okay.
I mean, it was a deodorant. Anyways, what this is
Basically,
not-
what it is, it's like flowers, like, what is it?
No.
Muddled, and then mixed with water, and then she just splashes it under her armpit.
Yeah.
I mean, I totally believe that's how organic deodorant works.
I think
That's
so.
how my organic deodorant works.
Okay.
It's a team effort. Like,
And Henry
buying it.
makes it for me.
Yeah,
So if you ever want organic deodorant.
All right, I'll check out your Etsy store.
nice.
Mhm.
Thank you.
It's Henry the deodorant after the slash.
What was the last question?
You got it.
That was those.
That was it?
That was
Alright.
it. Perfect. No, I think Henry.
Toothpaste was the last question?
Yes, it
Okay.
was.
Okay.
I mean, we've said your name a million times, but let's go ahead and go through that with you too, Henry.
in case people didn't hear it the first 15 times it was mentioned, I am Henry. I basically, what instruments do I play? Whatever is required of me to play. So I play a bunch of stuff from piano, guitar, bass, drums, scratching, turntables, whatever I need to play. Because we're only two people in our band, and we need to,
You're
Make-
stretched thin.
Yes. Well, not
You
really.
gotta be versatile.
Yeah, and I do occasionally sing sometimes when Arp wants to just chill for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, it's been
I'm a
3
diva.
minutes.
Yeah.
Let's throw some of you in there.
Yeah, when she's, having, she goes off to the side and uses like a mist and a wind machine, and she just says, I don't want to deal with the audience right now. Henry, take care of it. That's when
Can
I
I
say.
freshen up my organic deodorant?
The flowers and the
yeah,
water backstage, just real quick.
Always.
And,
Ice cream.
like, I want to say, traditionally, like, Thrifty's ice cream, any flavor. If you guys don't know what Thrifty's ice
You
cream
mean Thrifties?
Thrifty's,
Pretty sure
Thrifty's,
it's
I don't know.
Thrifty.
It's Thrifties.
Thrifties
It's in the
ice
Rite
cream.
Aid stores.
I don't
Yes,
like
yes,
it
yes.
anymore,
Okay,
Thrifties.
okay. These, any flavor you get from Thrifty's ice cream is fantastic, and like the vanilla is good, the Neapolitan is good.
Yeah.
the
I
chocolate.
100% agree.
strawberry.
Thrifties is
Wait.
the greatest ice cream on the planet.
Yes.
Like, 100%.
Can I just-
We love
Say-
Thrifties.
Yes.
Cookies and cream is also like my ultimate go-to ice cream.
Yeah.
But right now, it's the McConnell's one.
I mean,
But, like, traditionally, like,
Yeah.
you go for the cookies and cream.
yeah. So traditionally, like Thrifty's ice cream is it's the legend. It's untouchable. But if we were gonna do like a currently in my playlist type of thing, I guess I'd say like there's this like banana peanut butter flavor either at Jenny's or McConnell's or Salt and Straw. I have no idea which one, but it's like it was at Salt and Straw, and it's like the Elvis peanut butter sandwich one, and it's just fire.
But it's a seasonal one, right?
Yeah, it's
that
seasonal.
sounds like limited edition.
It is limited edition. My life, the things I like always end up being limited edition, so it's like 9 months of sadness and then 1 month of happiness and then back to 9 months of sadness when they disappear.
Yeah, because there's 10 months in a year.
It's like the math doesn't quite add up.
The other 2 months are limbo.
Okay, there we go. So,
And I think currently it's Crest, right? Colgate. It's some fancy like Colgate like series, like I don't know, like fresh Brent mixed with like mouthwash or whatever. But I just know it's Colgate.
okay.
One of the
Minty
things.
fresh.
Yeah,
Gotta
minty
keep it
fresh.
clean, keep it nice. There we go.
I like these answers.
These are some quality answers. I like them as well.
I approve of them, so they are allowed to be in the podcast.
Great.
You know what? I'm gonna get you a stamp of approval because I have a stamp. It says Martel approves, and I stamp things.
Wait, like a legitimate stamp that
legitimately
you stamp
paper, and it says Martel
I
approves.
need one of those,
Approved.
so please
What?
So-
Wait, what possessed you to get this stamp? I'm actually very curious now.
Okay, so I think it was like I want to say freshman year in college, and just randomly I was making music that night, I remember, and then I was like, you know, it would be cool if I like had a stamp that said Martel approved, and like I could take it out with me to like parties, and then like
Do you really take this to parties?
I took it to parties, and I would meet someone and I'd be like, okay, you're cool, I approve of you, give me your hand, and they'd be like, what? And I'd stamp them. It said Martel approved. They're like, oh my god, you are amazing. And
Okay, please get me one. I would love it.
okay,
Thank
done.
you.
I'm still in
Would you
awe
like one as well?
that this is actually a thing. I would love one. I would
Yeah.
also like to get the stamp of approval. Do
Oh,
you have
yeah.
it? Do you have it with you?
I don't have it on
I'm
me.
very disappointed.
But
He's
the next
retired.
time,
He's retired, okay.
when I bring you your official stamps, I'll bring mine and I'll stamp you guys.
Wow.
Okay, this
I
sounds...
feel honored.
Yeah.
Yeah, this definitely sounds like a really great situation right now. Stamps of approval
Stamps of
for
approval.
ourselves at parties.
Mhm.
Nice. So today, what was your guys' day like? Was good day? How was your day?
It was great.
I'm
No, I was at we both work, so I was at my 9 to 5, and then I came home, and my niece and nephew are at my house because my mom babysits them. So I hung out with them, and then I got ready for this.
Have your nieces and nephews ever heard your guys' music?
Yeah, my
What-
nephew loves. My niece is too small.
Okay.
She's like 11 months.
Oh, tiny.
I mean, yeah, she hears it, but she doesn't really realize it's me. But my nephew does. Like, he'll request "Drowning" by our Aurora Vice band.
Yeah.
By the way, her nephew, we call him Dr. Dre because his name is Andre. I call him Dr. Dre.
Oh,
I'm the only
cool.
one who does.
Wow, so special. I've seen him once.
There you go. So Henry, how was your day? What were you up to?
Yeah, besides like decaying for 9 hours out of the day at work and stuff like that, I got coffee, which was good, made my day better. But like, the thing is, my laptop currently is not with me. It's currently being upgraded, so I'm sans laptop, and it's like if like alcoholic doesn't have alcohol and they get those like, you know, whatever withdrawal syndromes.
Yeah.
I'm feeling like withdrawals because I can't really like work on music, and it's kind of like, what do I do with my life now?
How long have you not had it?
I want to say like 3 days now almost.
Oh my god, that's too long. If I
Yeah.
don't have my phone for like 20 minutes, I have a panic attack.
Yeah, I feel you.
I mean, I'm a little
To
different. I can
get
last
that checked
without
out.
it. Yeah, I can last without my phone for a bit, but I see how like being a musician and not being able to make
No,
music,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
gotta
Obviously,
be
I'm
hard.
an addict, so
When I meant like in terms of music. I kind of last night had like my phone, and I was like making music with my phone and like doing it like super like analog with like a mixer, and like I had like this
I
field
saw
recorder, and yeah, it was on my story on Instagram. but-
what's your Instagram handle so everyone... Let's like plug that in right now. First of all, at Aurora Vice, right?
yeah, it's AROAU.
You spell Aurora wrong, sir. There is a U in there.
You are VICE.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got that established.
Yes, I'm a horrible speller. This is not news.
That's okay. You make good music, so
sing
that's
some
all that
music.
matters. So, give us a little bit of a backstory. Like, what the hell are you guys? How did you each of you individually get involved in music, and then together, how did you guys form and all of that?
You want to start your musical?
Sure. So, I've been singing since I was 8, and I was in the Los Angeles Children's Choir.
Oh wow!
For
Wow.
Sounds fancy.
Obviously,
was.
We're impressed.
It was, I got classically trained with them, and then, I've been in a few operas with them.
Oh wow!
They had contracts with the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion and, like, Hollywood Bowl and stuff, so that was fun. I was in La Boheme one time, it was really cool. And then when I started high school, my mom forced me to join show choir, and I was just like, ew, no, this is gonna be so lame. I literally did not want to do it, and my mom, like, it was like orientation day, I guess, and she made some kind of appointment with the choir director, and she was like, you're gonna go and audition. I was like, oh my god. So I went and I did it, and then I ended up getting into the intermediate advanced shit. I fucked it up. I got into.
She said a bad word.
We are uncut on the record. It's fine.
Anyways, I got into it. It was really, really fun. It was the best decision that I was ever forced to make. My high school was only fun because I was in show choir, and like we went on competitions to New York, Chicago.
Oh wow,
Indiana.
you guys traveled.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. And then,
Would you say you were in a glee club?
oh, yes.
Okay.
She's like
Okay,
100%.
wait.
Before it was cool, mind you.
Wait,
Before it was
let me
cool.
tell you, yeah, it was because of us. They actually used our choir for the pilot.
Wow.
Wait,
Yeah,
what? Can you explain?
Well,
What?
I
No.
wasn't in it. I wasn't in it. It was like
Okay.
the
Okay.
ones before. They were a year older than me, and it was
Okay.
in a higher choir. But yeah, they were the ones they got hired to do like a whole set for their opening pilot.
Oh wow.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
That's how you know you're
So
in a
if
good
you-
program.
Yeah, they were
exactly.
wearing like yellow and white. So if you ever see that like flashback or whatever, that's like people I know.
Wow, how cool.
They're my
Kind
friends.
of yeah. So then after high school, I just stopped kind of doing it, and then I met Henry at a kid's first birthday party.
Oh wow. That's quite random. I don't know if I've ever
Yeah, that
heard of
is
a
really
band that
random.
just meets at a birthday party.
Yeah, it was.
There's
I'm sorry, a first birthday party.
A first birthday party. Let's
It was
clarify.
my sister's friend, and it was her child, and then his cousin was there, and so he tagged along. I guess, right? Oh no,
No,
they
that's-
wrote
that's-
a song for the kid.
No, we didn't write it. So the child whose birthday it was.
Does this kid have a name?
Sophie.
Oh, great. Let's
Yeah.
address her by Sophie.
I mean, sure. Um,
Well, I named her.
so,
Sash.
okay. I didn't know that. But, what happened was her mother, Sophie's mother, came, to me and my cousin and said, oh, my friend wrote this, I wrote this song and I want my friend to sing it, but like there's no music and we don't know how to record and all this whatnot. So we produced the music and recorded her friend singing and mixed, mastered the whole 9 yards for this like baby. It was this song that was written. And what happened, they invited, well, obviously my cousin is, her husband, the mother's husband is like his godbrother. So he was automatically invited. I just got invited because I worked on the song. I mean, I don't really I don't run in these circles. Yeah.
Okay.
And so we get to this, it's at their house. By the way, it was a really like snazzy, swanky party. They had like tables set up outside, like waiters coming in. So it was that type of party type of
wow.
thing. It wasn't like,
For a first birthday party?
I know,
Yeah.
exactly.
So not only does this first birthday party in a nice house with waiters, but you guys mastered and produced a whole song for this 1-year-old.
Yeah, essentially.
Sophie
It was
has got
first
the life.
child.
And it was used in like a video that they had made. The song was put into the video, so they had this whole presentation on a screen in front of everybody.
Very elaborate.
Yeah.
I wonder what her second birthday was like.
I don't know. I wasn't there. We didn't.
I wonder what her 16th birthday and 18th birthday, like, those are going to be some huge parties.
Yeah, probably.
So you guys are both at the party?
Yeah.
And
So what happened, we were sitting at the same table they were sitting at, her and her sisters. And my cousin, the sister of the cousin I worked with, was sitting next to her sister. And basically, both of them were sitting next to each other, bragging about each other's sibling. Saying, my cousin was like, "Oh, my brother and my cousin produced this whole, like, song. They recorded, mastered it, blah, blah, blah." And then her sister was telling my cousin, "Oh, my sister sings. She was in an opera. She's, like, performed all over these competitions,
Yeah,
all
they
this."
were bragging about us.
So they were just back and forth bragging, and I'm sitting there having myself, like, those little steaks and whatnot. I have no idea this is all going on. And then until the next day, my cousin, the one I worked with, says, "Oh, by the way, there was this girl there. She's a singer." And at the time, we were trying to get a band together.
By the way, I sang there. Henry, do you remember that?
No, not at all.
Henry literally was just like, can't see what I'm doing, but he was definitely just not paying attention to his surroundings. He was just there, and like, I don't know where you were when I sang. I
think we were inside somewhere.
I was inside too, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember her singing.
So can we credit the forming of Aurora
doesn't
Vice
remember me.
to a 1-year-old's birthday
Yes.
party then?
Yes.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sophie.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Sophie.
Yes. Shout out. You should
Yeah,
write a
girl.
song called Sophie for this girl and just do it. She's like, "No, I'm over it. We already wrote one song for the girl."
Well, they did.
They did.
They
Well, I
did.
mean, I just recorded.
No, I know her. She's the cutest thing in the world. I love her, but yeah, I don't think we're gonna write songs about specific people.
I mean, maybe just use her name. JK.
She's like, "No." She's like, "I don't want to do that. We're over that."
It's cool.
Yeah.
Doesn't fit the brand.
She got us there together. So.
Well, that's awesome. That's
Maybe
honestly.
you want to give us backstory on how you started with music?
Sure. I could do that. I can
Okay, cool.
paint
Let's
you a
move
word
on.
picture. No. Stop. I'll do it. I mean, growing up, I always had, like, an interest in music. I always wanted to, my grandma's house had, like, a piano, which I was not allowed to touch, even though I always wanted to play it. Maybe that's where the desire stemmed from. Forbidden fruit, yeah, sure. Sure. And, then I guess my mom bought me a guitar, and I started, like, fiddling around with that, like, I want to say, like, early teens. And then around, like, 15, I started, like, playing the piano after my sister gave up playing, and she didn't want to play piano. So I took the opportunity to be like, can I play the piano? Can I have it? And, at the time, in terms of music production, everything was, multi-million-dollar studios, and if you're using a laptop to create music, everyone laughed at you. And I was, like, one of those first people that, like, jumped on the whole FL Studio, which was previously Fruity Loops, which is every producer's story. I started on Fruity Loops. Anyone you ask, they'll say, "Yeah, Fruity Loops is where I started at." Blah, blah. Anyways, yeah, so I kind of, like, taught myself how to produce, even though when I first started it was terrible because I didn't know what mixing was and everything was all at the same level, and I'm like, why are some sounds getting all crunchy, and why does this sound disappear at this point, because I didn't know about phase cancellation. But slowly I kind of learned more and more, and then learned Pro Tools, Ableton, and what have you, all because I just didn't have the luxury to pay someone to do whatever it was. So that's how I kind of developed. But now there's schools for it, which blows my mind, because I'm like, why would you go to music production school when you just go to YouTube, everything's there?
You can go teach them.
Yeah, I could.
You could do that.
I could.
You could be the school.
I am the school.
As he puts a little house roof over his head.
Yes.
So you guys said you basically met at a 1-year-old's birthday party, so that's awesome. So the name Aurora Vice, where did that come from? What does it mean? Give us a story on that.
By the way, when we were trying to come up with a name, it took us like a month, 3 months, and we were about to kill each other.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It was bad. I'm not gonna say how we came up with the name, but you can say what it means.
It basically represents duality, a juxtaposition between Aurora the light and Vice being the darkness, because it's a vice. So, and we are two people, so it kind of reflects that duality in terms of just having two band members. But it also represents how we approach our music. We like to have like really melodic tunes. Basically, like we take like really poppy sounds and like, you know, shiny bright synths and like top lines, and we like kind of jumble it together with like a lot like darker like grooves and very fat low ends, and you know subject matter that's not very appropriate for traditional pop, and we also throw in like rap and hip hop. And even though ARP hates this thing, I always say it's Britney Spears meets gangster rap, but she always says no, it's not. Don't say that. But I think it's like a good representation of like the sound.
So it's kind of like that duality of the light and the dark. I would like to point out for those of you guys who are listening, Arp is currently wearing white and Henry's in black. So just to even further create that juxtaposition,
Subconscious.
they knew what they were doing. Got to keep it on brand at all times.
Speaking of Britney Spears meets gangster rap, genres these days are very fluid, and many times music overlaps and doesn't fit into one category. So that being said, how would you describe your sound?
You know, for the longest time I've always said, and this was back when genres were still pretty rigid, I said, in the future, their genre is going to disappear. That's not going to be a thing. And we currently are witnessing that slow progress into like the blending of sounds. But to refer to ours, we really generally have had a hard time describing our genre, because I feel like every like single or project that we've put out is always a different type of genre, right?
Yeah.
Like we've done like pop and hip hop and like trap, and there's this publication called A&R Factory that they said it was driven trap pop with, I don't know, that's what they said, right? Something like that. But like,
Someone attempted to categorize you?
yeah. But I'd say we
The way they described it was pretty accurate. It's just I don't remember what it was.
But I mean, that's a pretty accurate description of the current EP that we've released, Manic. It has elements of pop and trap and like hip hop as well. But if you, the way I used to describe our sound or genre, I would say the genre is very fluid and changes based on how we're feeling. The thing that brings it together is the attitude and musical signature that we bring to each track. So we might like have like a Afrobeat dancehall track, and you'd know it's us because of the certain way we do that track, the way we sing the top lines or the subject matter or what have you. So, or we could do like complete like, you know, summer funk pop jam, which basically Drowning was. It was like all live instrumentation, and it was like this really like summery track. But then before that we had like Parties, which was like really like heavy hitting hip hop. So it's like we're all over the spectrum.
You are, and I was gonna ask,
Yeah.
like your EP from like 2015, that one, the Vice EP, like that one definitely has a much different sound than your current stuff. So what kind of sparked that sound change?
Well, that we had a third member,
Okay.
we had a drummer, so it was more. It was leaning more towards a traditional band. Like Henry was playing the guitar or the bass at that time, or I would like pick up the bass for a song. But, yeah, so after it just became us two, that's why it switched up. Like, we had to change everything because I don't play any instruments, and Henry can't play all of them at once, so, yeah.
Very cool. So, I guess in terms of, like, your sound, you guys have any specific musical influences, like people, or, like, what inspires you? And
kind of like what you're listening to now.
Honestly, I'm all over the place.
Aren't we all?
Same, yeah.
I, like, every time I'm driving, like, with my sisters or whatever, it'll go from Latin to rock to rap to soul. Like, it's just everywhere. And my sister's like, what is wrong with you? Why don't you have, like, one specific genre of music for a playlist? And I was like, I like all of this. I listen to everything. So, but I will always love Rihanna. She's my idol. I die for her. Of course, Beyonce as well. But yeah, I'm into everything.
Very diverse. I like that. So do you think a lot of that kind of, what you're listening to kind of influences your music at the time, or is it just more what you're enjoying?
Yeah, it does. Sometimes, like, when I'm writing, I'll have, like, songs that I can really connect to, and I'll have that on a playlist, and I'll just, like, keep listening to it, and if it, like, sometimes it helps me get my thoughts out. But yeah, definitely, like, I go through phases of, like, listening to certain songs, and that influences my writing, or, like, what I want to do at that moment. For me, at least.
I concur.
What are you listening to these days, Henry?
I mean, I'm pretty much the same. I'm all over the place, even country, even like Polish accordion music and everything, like jazz. I'm legitimately all over the place.
I mean, that Weird Al Polish record was pretty great.
Yeah. But like, I guess the mainstays, I would say, every musician says Beatles, because they are, if you ever like literally go down into the history of the Beatles, you will see how heavily they've influenced not only music technology, but like the music writing and just musical direction in general, like the stuff they were doing. So, number one, Beatles are a big influence. I'd say the XX are tied up there with them. And like, I mean, everybody, I don't want to say everybody likes Drake, but I like Drake. Drake is dope. I like Drake. I like a lot of hip hop. I grew up being an immigrant child, growing up on gangster rap in the 90s and stuff like that, even though I had no idea what they were saying, but I thought it was so cool. Yeah. And my parents didn't know what they were saying either, so they would buy me all the bad word filled
all the explicit parental advisory albums.
that went over their heads. They're like, oh yeah, sure, that's music, whatever, it sounds
Let's
nice.
make sure that sticker's on there before we buy it for Henry.
That must mean it's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we want to do is actually make a Spotify playlist with some of your what I'm currently listening to songs on there. So check out our Spotify profile for an Aurora Vice playlist.
Curated.
Yeah,
curated by Aurora Vice, just for Unmastered.
Lit, honestly.
Speaking of which, little factoid for those of people that don't know, like when Spotify was first like being introduced into the United States, like I was that guy. I had a playlist that every week I would drop 20 unknown tracks every week for like 2 years, and
the real MVP right
the
here.
real MVP. Like people, I was that guy, and I would basically I introduced so many people to so many new artists and stuff like that. So like anytime I get to make a playlist, it's really nice.
Well, now you'll have this opportunity to do
Maybe
that.
your intern.
Oh, you guys would hate me. I'd be like, have you heard this song? But have you heard this song?
It's all over the place. Yeah, so we'll get that playlist and get some suggestions from you guys and have that up on our Spotify, so you guys listening at home can listen to what Aurora Vice is listening to as well.
Alright, so let's go into setting up our first song. So we want to feature a couple songs of yours. Which one would you you want to go into right now?
Snakes.
All right. Give us like a little bit, like 2-3 sentences about it, and we'll play it, and then we'll go right back into the interview.
Okay. Well, this is our song Snakes from our EP Manic that came out this summer.
Mm-hmm. Should we tell them the thing? I mean, it's a good time to say it later. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's a song about basically keeping the snakes away unless they Gucci. Basically, get rid of all the fakes in your life, and if you listen to the lyrics, it's essentially that.
Yep. We're gonna play that right now.
I got all these pretty girls following me just to get their followers to infinity. Raining naked pictures with no intimacy. I think they gotta sign me up for therapy. Cause everywhere I look I see the same. Ashes and tears sounding more like brand names. Honey cutie, you're so funny type of game. And this camera flashing the way to fame.
You won't be 100. You don't need to stay. If you ain't the vibe, keep the snakes away. If you won't be 100, you don't need to stay. If you ain't the vibe, keep the snakes away. Keep the snakes away. Keep the snakes away. I keep on scrolling, I'm not like the other guys, got my eyes rolling, sliding in my DMs like baby, what that mouth do? I see spinning fire like bullets passing through you. Ooh, I don't need a WID. Keep on texting, but nothing's real, baby. Oh, I'm tired of endless swipes. Everyone flexing, but all I see is hype. You won't be 100. You don't need to stay. If you ain't the vibe, keep the snakes away. If you won't be 100, you don't need to stay. If you ain't the vibe, keep the snakes away. Keep the snakes away. Keep the snakes away. Me and my ride or dies, curving all the sneaky lies. Thought you knew all we do. Keep it 8 more than 92. Keep the snakes away. Keep the snakes away.
Okay, so you just heard Snakes by Aurora Vice, which, by the way, is my favorite song on the EP.
Oh, thank
Oh,
you.
girl.
Girl.
Thank you.
I
Tell us why you like it so
I
much.
especially really, really like the second verse. It's
That's
where
me,
I'm at.
that's me.
That is where I'm at. Every time I hear it in the car, I bump it and I have my windows rolled down and I keep on rolling. It's really great. It's my favorite.
Be honest, the line you like the most is, was it spitting fire like bullets passing through you?
Yeah,
huh?
I
Yeah.
freaking love it, man. How'd
Yep.
you know me.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
It's pretty great. So you want to talk about, that's the last song on the EP, Manic.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about what you guys are trying to do with this.
Wait, is it? Or was it
Snakes is the last
Oh,
song.
sorry. Whoa.
Flame is right before Snakes.
Whoa. Sorry.
Girl, swear to God.
What was your question?
So we just heard Snakes. It's the last song on the EP Manic.
Mhm.
What are you guys trying to do after that?
Oh. Yeah.
So, no one knows this
Oh my
because
God.
this is the
Exclusive.
first time we're like gonna say this because when we first released the album, each track, I kind of call it an album, right? EP, whatever. Each track has a time.
Yeah, we
designating it.
noticed.
And everyone's like, why is there time? Do we have to listen to it at that time? And we didn't say anything. We just smiled and nodded. Yeah.
And just smile and wave, boys.
Yeah. So, not many people know, but Manic is part 1 of a 2-part project.
You don't say.
I do say. And the second part is done, completed, and it's going to be released as soon as we decide when.
Yeah.
Does second part have a title?
Yes, it does.
Can we
Should we?
say this title?
Yeah, let's drop the title. You want to say it at the same time? 3, 2, 1.
Sure.
3, 2, 1. Melancholy.
Ooh, you like that.
It's I like it a lot, actually.
So you're gonna roll from manic right into melancholy.
Mhm.
Is it still gonna have that time stamp
Yes,
going?
it is.
Okay.
What are the times?
The times are for Melancholy, 10 p.m.,
12 a.m.
12 a.m., 2 a.m., and 4 a.m.
Wow. Okay, so how is melancholy gonna kind of be a different sound than manic?
Well, if you look up Melancholy and if you look up Manic in terms of the definitions, Manic is this state of extreme, like, activeness and like, what is it? It's not ecstasy, it's like extreme, like,
It's like
like being very energetic and
Yeah.
very happy, and you know, if you like know anything about bipolar disorder, there's 2 phases. One is manic, and the other is the depression. What?
Well,
Nothing.
I had just an interesting reaction to bipolar disorder.
It's fine.
I mean, we don't have to talk about it, but
Interesting way to compare it, but it's true, I guess.
I'm just to get the point across, because like manic is this heightened state of like happiness, or like almost like enthusiasm, if you want to say that. I don't know the word right now off the top of my head, but for those people at home, they can just Google it and they'll know what it is. And melancholy is this extreme like sense, the opposite direction of like being sad and like depressed. And basically, to kind of go with the theme of the night of duality and Aurora Vice, they are polar opposites of each other. And the manic is the daytime, so it's bright and nice and shiny, as a lot of the songs are. But if you notice, as the songs progress, they kind of go to a darker direction in terms of just
Everything.
So
the vibe.
So someone who is listening to melancholy, what kind of state of mind do you think that they'll kind of feel after listening to it in comparison to manic?
I think the songs are a lot more laid back than manic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're really chill and kind of like
Just chill vibes, dude.
Kind
Chill
of
vibes.
mysterious, kind of sultry. you could
very
say.
sultry and like smoky, hazy kind of. It's like
Sexy mixy.
sexy, you know? Like it's like definitely music like when it's like really late in the night and you're like, you know,
Continue.
Okay. Well, yeah.
So it's just late in the night.
Yeah,
kind of
it's
that sultry kind of. So it's kind of like a definitely like a sultry kind of sexy vibe compared to manic, which is
Yeah.
a little different.
It's definitely late night vibes, like late night R&B.
Like a late night car ride back home kind of thing.
You could say that, or it could be like 2 people at home or in any location, late night, you know.
Yeah, any location.
It's basically the. It's basically.
I like your way of thinking.
It's basically like whatever mindset human beings have at night. That's what it represents.
Cool. So thanks for that.
You're welcome for that.
You guys have been making music for a number of years now, and you're not signed, independent artists, woo-woo, right?
I just want to say, we write our own songs, we produce our own songs, we record our own songs, we mix our own songs, and we master our own songs, and we market our own songs, and we do it all in a laptop.
In Henry's room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to all those Russ fans.
That's exactly why I was saying it.
No shade, no shade.
Being an independent artist, I'm assuming, is quite difficult, especially if you're trying to do everything, all of it yourself. Yeah. Being independent now versus being independent a few years back when you guys started, is there any difference, or has the difference come in a wave of the past 10 years or so? Do you feel as if there is anything there?
You know what? I feel like we missed the whole like SoundCloud underground type phase before it went like totally
Viral?
No, not viral. When it went totally like labels, now like SoundCloud pushes like label artists and stuff like that, and like it's really hard for like really underground artists to shine. And I've noticed that it's the same with the major streaming services, even though they say, "Oh, we're here for, you know, independent artists and stuff like that." But if you look, exactly, like even Spotify used to be great because like I would get on Spotify and I would like get recommended all these artists that absolutely no one has heard of, mainly because they couldn't play the label people because they didn't have like rights to that at that time. And the Los Angeles Police Department is taking a visit. Well,
they're definitely interested in Aurora Vice now. It's ARP's wanted.
Between us, she is the most gangster one. Yeah,
I can tell by those verses she's got.
Yeah, she's the gangster rap. I'm the Britney Spears. Not many people know that.
Oh, good to know. But so with Spotify, talking about that, with the algorithms, do you know much about the algorithms and how those work for social media as well as Spotify? Does that help you guys, hurt you guys? Explain that to those of us who don't really know.
Yeah. I'm going to go back to what I was saying and then move into the social media. With Spotify, it used to be a lot more like independent artists motivated, like they would push those artists in your Discover and whatnot. And now I've noticed a lot more, like, I don't follow Trippie Redd on Spotify, but he released an album and I get a notification, "Do you want to listen to Trippie Redd's album?" I'm like, why am I getting this notification? Or why are most of my, like, Discover artists, like, label artists?
Yeah, Discover Weekly.
You know?
It used to be so much more diverse.
It used to be artists literally that had maybe, like, 50, like, followers. And I was like, yo, this is really good music, you know?
Honestly, I still get that. Maybe the algorithm is not working for your favor, but I get
No, you still get, like, I'd say a handful, but it's not as much as it used to be, is what I'm saying. But other than that, in terms of social media algorithms, like, that's a whole beast on itself. There's so many, like, different, like...
If you want, let's make that a little more specific and focused on Spotify. Do you have things to say about the Spotify algorithms?
I, to this day, for the life of me, can't figure out how that thing works. Because, like, every time you, like, ask someone in a forum or, like, ask Spotify, like, what is required, you'll see an immediate contradiction somewhere else. Like, they would be, before they were like, in order to get on this, you need to have such and such, this
in
many.
order to get verified, you have to have this many like followers and
But
this
then-
monthly listeners. And then randomly, we got an email that we were verified. We were like,
I'm like, so I don't understand how this kind of works. Like, we didn't do anything different. They just decided to
Yeah.
verify.
Was
us.
that like a good feeling when you got verified?
"Oh, of course."
Well, yeah, but
We were so confused.
We're like, thank you, but why?
yeah.
I remember I asked her, I'm like, Arp, who did you pay and how much?
Yeah, I didn't do anything.
So, in terms of Spotify, I can't figure it out for the life of me. It seems like almost things just happen at random, or like,
Yeah, as far as I know, everyone needs to either be putting you on all of their playlists
Yeah.
or follow you on Spotify and recommend here and there. Everything is different as far as I'm concerned.
which
So-
is like crazy, because it's like if you're a new like act starting out and nobody knows you, but you have to magically make it onto everyone's playlist, but nobody can hear you because they've never been presented your music. So you're kind of like, what do I do? How do I get people to listen to me?
yeah,
If-
you're like stuck in a limbo.
yeah, it's the equivalent of if you want this job, you need 10 years of experience, even though you just graduated college.
Got it.
It's the
Okay.
equivalent of that.
That's the same, like, music. It's the music frustration that our artists have to go through with
Yeah.
that part. So is social media kind of the same thing for you guys as well, or?
No, social media is more cut and dry, I think, a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's
Like,
easier to.
it's easier to navigate in terms of how we figured out how some things work. I'll give a freebie, like, never use the same hashtags consistently after, like, 2 posts or 3 posts in a row, because it notices that and it stops, like, promoting you in those hashtags.
Oh, good
So
to know.
if you don't know that, do that. But at least that's what I've heard is the thing. And once we started implementing that, we noticed an increase.
Mm-hmm.
So it could just be coincidence, or it could legitimately be the way it works.
But it's always changing. So.
Yeah.
Do you think social media definitely helps play a part in, because you guys are an independent artist,
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
helps you get that fan base, that branding, marketing, all of that?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely,
For sure.
for sure. And getting like, I've noticed. I mean, I'm sure Art has as well. Like, you'll go on your feed and you'll like see one of those videos, and they'll have some song playing, and all these people are asking, "Oh, what song is this? What song is this? What song is this?" You know, like getting reposted like that on someone else's video, like with your music being used, or even just some of the sponsored posts that we like come up on my feed. Like, I've found artists through that. Like, I'm like, oh, yo, this guy's dope. I'm gonna follow him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely come up on my sponsored post as well. I'm gonna switch topics just a bit, just a little bit, and ask my favorite question, which is, if you were not doing music, what would you be doing? Like, if music is absolutely no option for you, what would your dream job be?
You wanna go first?
Why you gotta do me like that? Well, I am right. Okay, so I am a real estate agent right now,
Wow.
but I wouldn't say that would be my dream job. I've never thought about it.
Has it
What
kind
my
of
dream
always
job
been
would
like
be.
a linear
Yeah.
eyes set on music,
Yeah.
just because it's been so ingrained in your life, sort of?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Henry, you answer this. I'll think about it.
I used to make films in high school and middle school, and they were pretty damn good. Our music video for Drowning was completely done by ourselves, and people thought we like hired some professional like.
Shameless plug for Drowning music video. Go check that out on their YouTube channel.
Yes.
Yes.
We did it ourselves and probably spent maybe $100 max, basically for buying alcohol and food and stuff like that. But in terms of, we used her sister's DSLR camera and my friend's GoPro and
People's houses,
and
cars.
her dad has this old Rolls Royce that
So
we
it
used.
was a Rolls Royce. We watched the video and I was like, is that a Rolls? Is that a
Yeah.
Rolls Royce?
It's definitely
Who
a
does
Rolls
this belong
Royce.
to?
That's mine. Well, Eventually it's gonna be mine, but it's my mom's right
One
now.
of these days.
Yeah.
It's a pretty baller car, I'm not gonna lie.
So if you weren't doing music, you'd still probably be doing something very creative.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
film.
definitely. Like, most likely, I'd say most likely film, but...
I didn't know we could still be in that, like...
You can still be
I
creative!
would probably, like, do... Because I've done musicals and whatnot when I
That
was
still
a
counts
kid.
music.
But if
Like,
you
I've
do Broadway?
done acting.
Oh, okay.
So I would probably go into that.
Like Broadway,
That's an
or-
acceptable answer. I'll take it.
I don't know Broadway,
Narrow way?
but...
Oh my gosh.
I love that. Where's my... I'm going to approve that one.
Stamp of approval.
That one actually made me cringe ever so slightly.
My name's Henry, and I'm here all week.
Okay. You're actually here for the next 10 minutes, but we'll see about that. Okay, that's
but
cool
yeah,
though.
do acting.
Okay, still on the creative side. That's good.
Yeah.
You definitely have a path.
Yeah.
That's what that is. Henry,
Go hard.
you make beats and put them online.
beat
Don't you?
What happened there?
What?
I'm saying you make your own beats and you put them online for other people to use.
Yes, I
Can
do.
Can you tell me more about that?
Yes, of course. I do make beats outside of Aurora Vice that I send to different artists and stuff like that. You can find them on Track Train, which is this service for producers to sell their beats on. It's kind of like iTunes, but for buying instrumentals or leasing instrumentals. There's a whole like tier system to that, which I won't get into. If you're interested, you can go to tracktrain.com and educate yourselves. But
I thought you were the school. I thought you were the teacher here.
I know, but we have a limited time. Sign up for my class. I'll give you the full course.
I am down.
So I make beats. When Arp was trying to, say that little thing, it's my artist tag is Henny Make the Beat Knock.
Oh,
Yeah, you fucked it up.
sorry.
But it's because she calls me Henny, and also Hennessy is
I was gonna
called
ask, is
Henny.
it purposely the
Yeah.
sound like Henny, like Hennessy? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you drink enough Hennessy, that beat's gonna knock. You know?
Oh, okay. I see what you're doing there.
It's clever.
We all like that.
we do like that. That would get our stamp of approval right there.
Yeah. So I basically make tracks for different artists. I recently sent a couple of beats to this, I think, literally up and coming dude. I think his name is Young Emo Kids, and he does the whole. I think it's like really like the Nothing Nowhere, Little Peep type.
Emo trap.
Sure, emo trap, I guess. You could call it that, and
Sad boy trap.
sure, sad boy trap, I guess. If that's what the genre is, I always wanted to.
Genres are fluid. I think we
Sure,
established that.
that is correct. And I sent him a track, and he did this like rendition of Juice WRLD's what's that song called? The Juice WRLD song with the Sting sample. I always forget it. Don't text me, just say it. Say it.
She's searching it.
Anyways, it's the Juice WRLD song.
Faster!
And he had the parts of the chorus and wrote his Lucid Dreams, yeah, that one. And he had his own verses and stuff like that. It's really good. Like, he has a great singing voice. And other than that, I sent a couple of stuff to this guy in Toronto. His name is David. No. You know what? He sounds like, I swear to God, he sounds like a young Drake. And his name is David Burns. He sounds exactly like Drake from like, first name greatest, last name ever, that era Drake. But like with the music being today's music. But his voice, when I first heard it, I'm like, yo, is this Drake? Well, I've never heard this Drake track before. So yeah, I sent a couple of stuff to him. But that's currently the two people I've sent it to, like, in the past month.
Cool. So, we can expect more things from you as far as a producer.
Yeah. Well, I always like to make music and send it to people. And
As soon as he gets his laptop back.
as soon as I get my laptop.
Aww.
Okay, well, we can't wait for that. We're gonna go on to play a second song, so let's go ahead and set that up real quick.
I'm gonna play Snakes, so we can get a couple songs.
We did Snakes.
Oh, just kidding, I'm a liar. Blessed.
Blessed. So, Blessed is basically about living the good life and striving to live the good life. And I produced this beat, and had no idea what to write to it. So I went to my local Albertsons, shout out to Albertsons. I bought Stella Rosa champagne and orange juice, and I drank the entire bottle of Stella Rosa and orange juice in a form of a Stella Rosa mimosa, and then wrote Blessed.
Okay.
Well, there you go, ladies and gents. Blessed.
Okay, so we'll go right into that right now. Okay, so you just heard Blessed by Aurora Vice.
Blessed by Aurora Vice.
Blessed. Hashtag blessed.
Hashtag blessed.
Champagne dreams.
Yes,
Hashtag
honey.
champagne dreams.
Yes.
Feeling blessed. Okay, cool.
Champagne dreams, feeling blessed. Close my eyes, ain't got no stress. Champagne dreams, feeling blessed. Champagne dreams, feeling blessed. Close my eyes, ain't got no stress. Champagne dreams, feeling blessed. Chasing that gold, neck frozen cold. Gucci, Fendi, Saint Laurent. Ain't no one know what I'm on. Too busy to listen to what they say. Too lit to even care anyway. Dreaming wide awake. Pray for the fake. Way too high to feel low. Anything I do, I glow. Champagne dreams, feeling blessed. Close my eyes, ain't got no stress. Champagne dreams, feeling blessed. Champagne dreams, feeling blessed. Close my eyes, ain't got no stress. Champagne dreams, feeling blessed.
Wake up to rides in an Uber black car. Top of the world is a rooftop bar. Hustler ambition, no limit, no sky. Billions to make, no time to die. And I keep on thinking about people screaming my name. Give me that cash and fuck the fame. All champagne, no OVO. City and angels about to overthrow.
Way too high to feel low. Anything I do, I glow. Champagne dreams, feeling blessed. Close my eyes, ain't got no stress. Champagne dreams, feeling blessed. Champagne dreams, feeling blessed. Close my eyes, ain't got no stress. Champagne dreams, feeling blessed. Halos round me, drunk and rowdy. Halos round me, staying cloudy. Way too high to feel low. Anything I do, I glow. Champagne dreams, feeling blessed. Close my eyes, ain't got no stress. Champagne dreams, feeling blessed. Champagne dreams, feeling blessed. Close my eyes, ain't got no stress. Champagne dreams, feeling blessed.
You guys want to go ahead and tell us what to expect in the future, and then go ahead and plug everything you need to plug.
Yeah.
You want to tell them what to expect?
So, you guys can expect the second half of our EP, right?
Titled Melancholy.
Melancholy.
Do we have a release date on that?
We do not.
It is going to be in a few months. It is definitely before the end of the year. And some famous rich person is flying their private jet.
But don't quote us.
No, it is definitely going to be. It's definitely going to be before the end of the year.
Established that we are on the record here.
Yeah.
So, okay.
They can quote us. before the end of the year, sometime between September and December.
Shut up! So you can follow us on social media.
We have a Twitter.
We have everything.
We have a Twitter and an Instagram.
It's all Aurora
Spotify.
Vice. At Aurora Vice.
Yeah, at Aurora Vice. We're on Facebook. SoundCloud. Do you want to say your personal?
No.
My personal Twitter is at Henry with an I Martel. I think
it's pronounced Henri.
Sure, Henri, but Henri, and I tweet funny things sometimes and other things that aren't funny.
He makes me never want to tweet because he's always tweeting me back.
Yeah,
sassing me.
If you're on my timeline on Twitter, I'm replying to you.
This is true. I've been on his timeline for maybe like not even a full week, and I've already gotten responses.
Yeah, I don't. I just don't care if it's someone else. Just you liked someone's tweet, it shows up on my timeline. I'm replying to it. You're
getting a response.
You're getting a response from me. It's gonna be sassy or very very awkward or nerdy.
You're pretty much establishing yourself.
Yes.
In the Twitterverse.
Yes, I'm putting my stamp of approval.
Well, thank you guys so much for sitting down with us and talking to us. So this has been Aurora Vice. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you guys for talking to us. Like, we like to talk to people, and we're so happy.
Henry likes to talk.
Yeah, I do. Thank you.
So, what we're going to go ahead and do now is we're going to give you guys a 10-second clip of a song that we're going to be featuring next week with who we're interviewing. And let's just jump into that right now.
Instead of running in circles, why don't you get her back? If everybody will hurt her, why don't you get her back?
Okay, you just heard a 10-second clip of a tiny little track. You know, it's just a little bit of a taste of what we're going to give you next week. If you want to give us a guess as to who that is, you can find us on Twitter and on Instagram. It's at UnmasteredPod. And if you reached all the way to the end of this episode, go ahead and send us the orange emoji, the tangerine emoji, the orange emoji. Go ahead and send that emoji to us with your guess of who we're interviewing next week. This has been Unmastered, where we're uncut and on the record with your favorite bands, and we'll chat with you next week.